guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review video and swatch video of the beautiful Muerte palette from Melt Cosmetics. So if you haven't seen this, I have talked about this in my what I got myself for Christmas video. I will have that link down below or somewhere on the screen. And yeah, it looks something like this. So if you want to know about this palette and how I got this makeup look only using this palette, then please keep on watching. But before we get on with the video, don't forget to subscribe and push that bell notification to notify you whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to follow me on any other social medias, I'll have that floating somewhere on the screen, as well as links down below in the description box. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Sorry, I look really bad. Damn, I look dusty because I'm baking right now so I don't get any fallout. And I did prime my eyes already using the P. Louise Base Pro in Rumor 2, I believe, and it looks like this. But yeah, so that's what I did. So I'm going to be using this gorgeous baby right here. And oh god, it's gonna be the first time that I'm dipping into this lovely palette. And if you haven't watched my what I got myself for Christmas video, I think I mentioned I showed this was one of the things that I got myself. That video will be linked down below or somewhere on the screen. The Melt Cosmetics Muerte palette, and this is what the inside looks like. Look how gorgeous those colors are. On camera it looks a lot brighter than it is. These colors are a lot darker, like this is a very vampy palette. All the colors that you see on the palette sleeve is what is inside of this palette. So if you don't like, they have another palette called the Vita palette, I believe, and that one has like bright colors like orange, yellow, you know, it's like, because it's like the Life palette and this is like the Death palette. So if you're into deeper colors or vampy colors, this is your palette right here. And if you like the brighter ones, then go for the other palette, or you can just get both. I don't really know what kind of look I want to go for, but we're just gonna go, and I'm gonna try my best to only use this palette. I'm gonna start with this brush, and this is the JS6 from the original Jeffree Star Morphe collaboration brush, and I'm going to dip into the color, I'm probably gonna butcher these names, Sangre. This one right here is the color I'm gonna go into as my crease shade, I guess. And let's see, this is the first time I'm using Melt Cosmetics. There is a it's very powdery, but I like that. Oh yeah, that is a very deep color. Like on camera you can see that it is red, and I can see it in the shadow in the palette, but when I put it on my eyelid, it actually looks, oh, it looks so dark that it kind of, you can't really tell that it's red. It looks more of like a maroon. Like, I feel like because you're all dark colors, things can go wrong and hit the fan really fast. So that's the beginning part of my look. Wow, I look like a raccoon. And next, I think I'm gonna take it's from the second Jeffree Star Morphe collaboration, and this is the JS8, and it looks like that. It's just a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna dip into the color Corazon, which is the bright red in the palette. It's a very bright red. We're gonna use that as a transition shade. Woo! Oh my god, you guys. Holy Nikes. That was pigmented. Oh my god, that was pigmented. Go with a light hand. Oh my god, I was not expecting that at all. Oh Nikes. Oh, that was crazy. Oh my god, probably the best red ever. That is really pretty. The only thing that I will say about this palette is that I don't know if I could just use this palette. I mean, right now I am trying to use just this palette, but I feel like I'm having a very difficult time because there is no such thing as a transition shade. Hello. There is no such thing as a transition shade in this palette. Like, there are none. It's just a bunch of colors. So I feel like, in my opinion, there's this shade called Calaca, and it's like a white shimmery shade right here. It's like a white and gold. It's like a champagne gold shimmery shade. I kind of wish that was a transition shade, like a brown or something, to make this palette a little bit more usable. The color Angelito and the color Katrina is kind of calling me to put in, or on my lid. I'm gonna swatch them for a second. Ooh, so that's what the Katrina looks like. It's very pretty. And then this is Angelito. Woo! Angelito can't even show up. It's my camera can't handle Angelito. Angelito, it's crazy. Oh, let me see if I want to do that one. I feel like that one makes it too vampy. I feel like I should do this. The only thing is, I feel like all of the makeup looks that I've seen using this palette, it's all the same. It all looks the same because, again, I feel like it's because there's no transition shades, so you're kind of limited. I don't think I want to use it. So I'm gonna cut the crease off camera, and I will be right back. I'm kind of scared because I feel like it's kind of outside of my comfort zone to do that. Like, I don't want to make it look like drag. So I feel like I kind of want to go with Calaca. Even after I just like bashed on that color. But like, I kind of want to put Angelito, but I'm low-key kind of scared to just go in with that color. So I'm going to start with Calaca, and I'm going to take the JS10 brush, and Calaca is the one that I was talking about earlier. It's this color right here, and we're just going to take that shade and we're going to just start on the inside. This shade is really powdery. I don't know if I like that shade. So I kind of just put it on like the outer top parts of my crease, and I left the bottom part of my crease open or bare. Crease? No, on the bottom part of my cut crease. Yeah, crease. Okay. Now I'm gonna take the color Angelito right here, and I'm going to put that where I kept it bare. I'm gonna try to go in with my finger because I feel like these shimmer shades are not going that well with the brush. So we're gonna just try to go in with the finger. Okay, so now to get more precision, I'll use the brush, but for opaqueness and best color payoff, I feel like it's best to use your finger for these. I'm gonna take the JS13 brush, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into the Corazon shade, this one right here. I'm gonna go back into the Corazon shade, and I'm going to kind of like blend out the outer corners. Actually, I need a little bit more fluffier brush, but I want a smaller one, so I'm gonna go in with the JS12 instead. I'm gonna go with the JS12 into the Corazon shade. Oh, actually kind of like how this look is coming out. And I definitely didn't envision this kind of makeup look to be what I was gonna do today. I want to deepen up the look a little bit. I'm gonna take my Morphe M506 brush, and I'm going to dip into the black shade in this palette. Oh, do I want to go to Velorio? I lied. I'm gonna go use the deepest red wine color from the palette called Velorio, and we're gonna deepen up the crease just a teeny bit. Yeah, see, I'm kind of happy I didn't go with the black because this is already looking like black. This is what I was talking about when I said some of these colors are so deep and dark that once you apply it, it looks black anyways. I want to blend that out a little bit more with the Corazon shade. So we're gonna go back into my JS12 brush, blend out Velorio. What I am gonna do is I'm going to brush off this bake right here, so like that, and now I'm gonna do the bottom lash line. But even though I wiped off the side bake, I am going to go a little bit below my lash line with some powder, just a little bit, because again, this palette is so dark that any fallout is gonna be a bitch to try and fix. And now I look like I have clouds on my face, but that's okay. We're gonna go back into, apparently it's my favorite shade, is this red, the Corazon. I'm gonna go back into that shade with my JS13 brush, and we're going to put that under on our bottom lash line. Now we're gonna use this brush, the same brush, but we're gonna go into the Sangre shade, and we're gonna go put that underneath our eyes. I really like that blue. I'm gonna take the JS10 brush, and we're going to dip back into the Angelito shade, and I'm gonna put that in my inner corner. So that is the finished. I think my eyes are done. I'm gonna put some black liquid liner, some falsies. I'm gonna finish the rest of my face, and then I will be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look. I put on liner, lashes, lip gloss, everything. I think it looks really good. I like what I did. I was a little unsure in the very beginning, as you guys might have saw, but it still came out really pretty. So I really do like this palette. It's very pigmented. I feel like it can be very hard to work with if you are a beginner. Oh my god, don't even think about touching this palette if you are a beginner, in my opinion, or otherwise you will have a really hard time, because I've been doing makeup for years, and even for me, I had a little bit of a difficult time working with this palette because of all the dark colors. And although I feel like sometimes these types of palettes, like on when you look at the palette, you're like, oh, it's so pretty, I love it. But then when you actually try to use just the palette, you kind of realize that it's not very practical. because again, like I said plenty of times throughout the video, there is no transition shades, like, at all. And my camera and my lighting makes the colors of the palette a lot more brighter, so you need to understand that these are pretty dark, deep colors, okay? Like I think the only bright colors, quote unquote, that aren't dark to me are these two shades and these two shades, but everything going down on this side, they are pretty dark, like pretty dark, okay? Like some of these shades, I think when you try applying it, it just looks like almost black with like a hint of blue or a hint of red, you know what I mean? So I guess that is why they had it separately. Like, so now that I'm thinking about it, maybe, so in the Vita palette they do have some transition shades, like, well, to me are transition shades. Can I talk? Like the orange, I think they might have like a brown in there and some yellow. So now that I know, now I know why they have two separate palettes, kind of, but it's one collection. I feel as if they wanted you to use it together. This retails, this just one palette retails for $58, and so if you get two, that's over $100 right there. So that's the only issue that I have with this palette. Again, is like something that you already would know going into, but I guess for me, I was just so blinded by how packaging looked, how the colors looked together in the palette. It made me think, oh, I want it, it's so pretty, but then it didn't make me think of like the practicality of it, of not having a transition shade. It would take a while, but I might try to film a 5 looks 1 palette with this. If you guys are interested, then please let me know down below in the comment section. That is it for that part of the video. I'm gonna get into the swatches portion of the video. So I'm going to be swatching these colors on my arm right here. Okay, so I just swatched the whole palette on my arm. Going from the top, we have Angelito, Lagrimas, which is a minty blue. This is a matte shade, that's a shimmer. There's 3 shimmers in this palette. So and then the one down from that is Duelo, which is kind of like it's like a mix between a green, blue, and a black. So this one on camera looks a lot lighter, but it is a deep color, okay? It almost looks black with a hint of like blue-green in there. The next one is your black in the palette, is Pantheon, which is the black in the shade. It's not the blackest black I've ever seen, which I thought was interesting considering this is a pretty deep dark palette, but it's kind of like a grayish black. And then we have next is Noche Eterna, which is the deep blue shade right there. And then underneath that, the really gorgeous shade, probably my favorite shade in this palette, is Katrina. I know I didn't use it in this video, maybe I'll use it in the next one. That's Katrina. And then the one underneath that is Velorio. That's the deepest red in the palette. And the next one underneath that is Sangre, or Sangre, I don't know how to pronounce that. And then the next is the bright red, which is Corazon. And then next one of that, the last shade, is Calaca, I guess, I don't know. But those are the shades up close. Again, I will reiterate that my swatches as well as the palette on camera looks a lot brighter than in real life. So keep that in mind. So those are the swatches. The mattes are very, very good. They're very, very pigmented. The shimmers are pigmented and are really good too, but I do have other palettes that, to me, in my opinion, have better shimmers. They're just a little bit more, it's not that they're less pigmented, it's just the other ones in my other palettes stand out more to me than the ones in this palette. But yeah, so the only shimmer shades that you got in this palette is Angelito, Katrina, and Kalaka. I don't know how to say that, but those are your 3 shimmer shades. And yeah, so my final thoughts of the palette: it is a very gorgeous palette. I definitely do think it is worth $58. I do think it's worth the price, but again, it's not a by itself type of palette, especially if you are a beginner. Okay, these are very colored packed palettes, not for the faint of heart at all. If someone asked me if I would repurchase it ever again in my life, I would, if I have other palettes that have neutral shades. But I feel like I don't think I would ever, unless asked to, I wouldn't use only this palette. I wouldn't. I feel like that is a challenge in itself. And that is it. If you like this makeup look, or if you like this review, please thumbs this video up. And if you recreate this makeup look, then please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And comment down below if you would like me to do a 5 looks 1 palette with this specific palette. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.